You wake up one morning and something just feels different. The world outside your window hasn't changed. The sun still rises, the birds still sing, the traffic still hums in the distance. But inside you, there's a shift. You get out of bed a little slower. Phew. You reach for the cup of coffee with hands that tremble ever so slightly. You forget where you left your keys. Again, and for a fleeting moment you wonder, is this how it begins? Most people don't notice the beginning. That's the tragedy of it. Aging isn't like a storm that suddenly crashes down on you. It's more like a slow leak, quiet, persistent, and devastating if you don't plug it in time. And here's the brutal truth. Most people don't live beyond 80, not because they're struck down by some obvious catastrophe, but because of hidden, neglected, preventable reasons. And no one is talking about them. But you should. Because if you don't confront these issues now, if you don't understand what's eroding your vitality quietly, you won't make it to 80 with your dignity, your independence, or your mind intact. One of the most overlooked enemies of longevity is something far more insidious than a poor diet or lack of exercise. It's chronic inflammation. It's the silent fire. It burns beneath the surface for years, sometimes decades, triggered by stress, processed food, poor sleep, environmental toxins, and emotional trauma you never fully resolved. Most people think it's just joint pain or bloating or fatigue. But chronic inflammation is the body's slow self-destruction. Your immune system, overactivated for too long, begins to attack you instead of defending you. And the cruel irony is that by the time it manifests into something noticeable, heart disease, diabetes, cognitive decline, it's already been there, doing damage for years. Think about that. You could be smiling at your grandchildren, telling stories about your youth, laughing over dinner, and all the while, your body could be engaged in a quiet war you don't even know is happening until the damage is done, until your joints stop cooperating, until your memory begins to slip, until the hospital visits become more frequent than the family ones. And what do we do when that starts to happen? We shrug it off. We call it getting older, as if aging is supposed to mean decay, as if it's normal to be fragile, forgetful, bitter, tired. But I've seen people in their 80s with more energy, more clarity, more discipline than people half their age. The difference: awareness, discipline, courage. The second hidden killer is something almost no one connects to mortality, but it's loneliness. And not just the physical absence of people, but the absence of meaning, of being seen, of feeling useful. I've sat with older men who once built companies, who led teams, who raised families, and now sit alone at their kitchen tables, staring at nothing, because no one needs them anymore. No one asks them for advice. No one calls. And when you're no longer needed, when you no longer have a role to play in the grand story of life, your spirit begins to starve. And what people don't understand is that the body follows the soul. When meaning dies, the body begins to follow. Studies show loneliness is more deadly than obesity, more harmful than smoking. Why? Because we are not designed to be isolated. We are wired for belonging, for responsibility, for connection. And if you don't nurture that, if you don't seek it intentionally, it will cost you decades of life. I had a patient once, let's call him Jack. Jack retired at 67. He thought retirement would be paradise. No alarms, no bosses, no deadlines. And for 6 months it was. He fished, he slept in, he watched TV. But by the time he turned 70, Jack was a shell of himself. His wife passed. His friends stopped visiting. He didn't know what to do with himself. He told me, I feel like I'm just waiting to die. And within a year, he had a stroke, not because of bad genetics, not because of diet, but because the structure, the purpose, the meaning that once held his life together had vanished. If you want to live beyond 80, truly live, not just survive, you need to stay engaged in something meaningful. You need to matter. You need to contribute. The moment you give up your usefulness, your vitality begins to drain. Slowly, but surely, the third reason so many fail to reach 80 with their minds and bodies intact is sleep dysfunction. And again, we ignore it. We accept it. I'm old. I just don't sleep well anymore. Nonsense. Noting, it's optional. It's not a luxury. It's the foundation of all biological renewal. When you sleep, your brain flushes out toxins. Your memory consolidates. Your muscles repair. Your immune system recalibrates. But if your sleep is shallow, or you're waking up 5 times a night, or you're falling asleep in front of the television and calling it a rest, you're accelerating your decline. People want a magic pill, But often the answer is terrifyingly simple. Turn off the screens 2 hours before bed. Stop eating sugar late at night. Go to sleep and wake up at the same time every day. And deal with the thoughts that keep you up at night, because many people don't sleep because their minds are filled with unresolved pain, regret, or anxiety. You can't medicate that away. You have to confront it. You have to integrate it. And that leads us to the fourth, and perhaps most tragic, hidden reason so many die before 80. Unprocessed emotional trauma. You carry it with you, even if you pretend you don't. The betrayal from your youth, the bitterness from the divorce, the guilt from what you did or didn't do, the shame you've never voiced. All of it lodges itself in your nervous system, quietly shaping your physiology. You think it's just who you are now, but it's not. It's unresolved pain, and the body remembers, always. You can go to the gym. You can take your supplements. You can eat your kale and drink your green smoothies. But if your soul is still carrying weight it was never meant to bear, you will break. Maybe not today, but eventually. So the real question is this: what are you willing to face now, so that your future doesn't become a slow fade into helplessness and despair? There's a part of you that already knows what's wrong. There's a voice, quiet but persistent, that's been trying to get your attention for years. It's the part of you that aches when you ignore your health. It's the part that whispers when you lie to yourself about how fine you are. And if you truly listen, you might find that it's not too late. You can still take control. You can still course correct. But you have to act now, not tomorrow, not next year, not after the next crisis. Today, start small. Begin by telling the truth about your pain, your regrets, your fears. Forgive yourself. Reach out to someone. Ask for help. Take a walk every morning, even if it's just to the corner. Go to bed like your life depends on it, because it does. Eat like your cells are listening, because they are. Reclaim a purpose. Mentor someone. Volunteer. Build something. Love something again. You do not have to accept a future of decline. You do not have to surrender to entropy. You are not finished. You are not broken. You are becoming. If you're still breathing, there is still work to be done. And it matters. The path beyond 80 isn't paved with luck. It's built brick by brick with discipline, courage, connection, and honesty. So don't wait until the mirror becomes a stranger. Don't wait until your legs no longer carry you. Don't wait until the doctors tell you what you already knew but were too afraid to face. Take responsibility for your body, your mind, your soul, and watch how life responds. Watch how your spirit sharpens. Watch how the years stretch before you, not as a sentence, but as a promise. The promise of more, of better, of life fully lived. So what will you do today? You wake up one morning and something just feels different. The world outside your window hasn't changed. The sun still rises, the birds still sing, the traffic still hums in the distance. But inside you, there's a shift. You get out of bed a little slower. You reach for the cup of coffee with hands that tremble ever so slightly. You forget where you left your keys again. And for a fleeting